Hey, Leanne, good morning. How are you?
Today, we had a discussion about the requirement that all counsel call any individual by their surname, not by their first name. And I think Ms. McLyman asked if that was just a rule in this courtroom. Actually, it's pursuant to the Hillsborough County Standards of Professional Courtesy, and under subsection M that governs trial conduct and courtroom decorum, subparagraph 8 is, quote, counsel should refer to all adult persons, including witnesses, other counsel, and the parties by their surnames and not by their first or given names. Okay, so Mr. McLyman, I believe you practice in Miami, is that correct? Okay, I would just ask all counsel, and it's a good refresher for me too, to review the standards of professional courtesy, particularly paragraph M, which governs a lot of conduct as it occurs during the course of the trial. Okay. The next thing I want to discuss, it was brought to my attention, I don't know if it's accurate or not, that Fox 13 is going to be airing an interview with defense counsel today. Is that accurate?
I don't know what Fox 13 is doing. If you're asking whether we did an interview with them this week, yesterday, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what they would be today. If it's not the same one they continuously do.
Okay. And you were interviewed by a reporter at Fox 13 at some point?
Yes.
Okay. How long ago was that? Okay. So we picked our jury Monday. So we're in relation to Monday. The week before trial. Okay. Did they tell you that they were going to air it during the trial?
They didn't say when they would, but they said if they did, they would probably air it that Friday. So that would have been the same week before trial.
Okay. So I don't know. I don't know if it's airing tonight. I have no idea what's going on. I just heard that anecdotally. So if Fox 13 does air the interview of defense counsel at any point during the trial, if there's...
I can tell you, if it's Fox 13, whatever they would be airing today, I've already seen that. And I had to go into referring to yesterday.
It was, Judge, because it definitely went into the evidence of facts of the case.
So you've seen it?
I did not see it. My legal assistant saw it and replayed it to me and told me the substance of it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just raising the issue. No one's filed a motion or requested any relief. So at this point, I'm just asking the question. Okay. Okay. State, you ready to go?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Yeah.
Actually, there are a few things that Chris would like to address.
Sure.
First, Your Honor, regarding Ms. Andrews, as she enters the courtroom, we just ask that the media not record her. She's kind of preparing,
Sure.
To get started.
Okay.
A little dehumanizing.
Yes.
It's
fine.
That way. Second, Your Honor, there was a motion. We filed a motion. I would say last night. It was more like early this morning, maybe like 1 or 2 this morning, related to exhibits that we expect the state to attempt to introduce today. We have objections to them, so I don't know.
Listen, I'm not going to do that right now.
I was going to say, I believe the witness that it relates to is probably in the afternoon, based on what they said. So we'll do it later, but I just wanted to bring some more attention.
Okay. Do you have a copy for me?
I attempted, but I will give you one.
Okay.
I couldn't give you one.
All right.
Judge, we do have 2 witnesses that do not want to be aired, and that's Audra Aguilante and Saffron Carmame. I know I didn't say that right.
When are you calling them?
They're both scheduled for today. Ms. Aguilante is first this morning.
Okay. Very good. So again, I would just ask the media, don't broadcast the identities, including the names of these 2 witnesses due to the specific facts of this case.
Judge, if I can make an order to this motion at this point, because this is kind of getting out of control. We're aware of all kinds of interviews that counsel has given now to podcasts, and now you're telling me about this Fox 13 thing, which I didn't even know about that.
Well, again, I don't know if it's accurate. I just heard through the grapevine that it was going to air today.
Counsel's representations to the court this morning, I would ask for a gag order on all parties as far as any interviews with the media going forward until this trial is over.
Okay, do you object to that?
Yes, Your Honor. Not that we necessarily intend to do any other interviews, but I recall at the beginning of this case, their possible supervisor doing a very extended interview with the news with evidence and names.
I know, but they're saying from this moment forward, no more. You object to that?
Your Honor, we don't necessarily intend to, but again, this is,
Okay, so are you telling me you object to it?
yes.
Okay.
We would object to it.
So-
We haven't heard one juror say that they have seen any of these. Unfortunately, we can't control what has already been released or how they intend to re-release it. We don't believe that we've said anything in the media that is inappropriate or, would do anything.
So here's the deal. I'm just going to tell you, and I don't know the answer because honestly, I've been on the bench for 23 years. Okay. I've tried over 200 jury trials. I've never, in a high profile case in particular, had defense counsel do interviews about the case so close to jury selection. I'm not saying it's wrong. I honestly don't know. I've never confronted it before. So I do think it's potentially problematic for interviews from either the state or the defense. I mean, are you telling me if Ms. Lopez went on the news tonight and talked about how guilty your client was and all the evidence that was arrayed against her, you would be fine with that? You'd have no problem.
It would depend on what she's saying.
Okay, but the problem is if she gives the interview, the damage is done, right? Once it airs, the damage is done.
Again, Your Honor, like I said, we don't intend to do any interviews at this point. We can't control, how we are released. And no more than we can control what is released that's recorded in this courtroom.
Okay.
It's out of our control.
So at this point, I'm going to temporarily grant the state's Ori tennis motion. I'm going to do some more research on this just because I've never had the issue arise ever in 23 years. And then, but for the time being, no one's going to be talking to the media about this case. Okay, we're in the middle of trial.
Your Honor, we, obviously reserve the right to respond appropriately with any support.
Sure. Absolutely.
Judge, if I can put on the record, I just showed a text from one of our legal assistants who watched the news this morning. Apparently, when Fox 13 was reporting the opening statements yesterday, that they would start yesterday morning, they then went to an interview with Mr. Malcolm and Mr. McClymont talking about what evidence the state doesn't have and what they would prove. She indicates in this text message, which apparently was sent to Ms. Doherty, I don't know when they gave me an interviewer statement, but it was shown yesterday morning. And then counsel was saying they will prove I'm assuming the defendant came to Tampa unaware of what was happening. So anyway, I just wanted to put that on the record.
Okay. Well, like I said, at this point, I'm going to temporarily grant the state's Ori tennis motion as far as gag order on both the state of Florida and the defense counsel. No one's to be talking about this case any further in the media. And I know we've said this before, and I just want to make sure, and I'm going to do an order to this effect just to make sure the names and identities of the jurors are not to be disclosed to anybody outside of this courtroom. Nobody.
Well,
Okay.
the defense is certainly not disclosed it, however, we are aware.
I understand. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page regarding the identity of the jurors. So, okay. Anything else before we get going?
No, Your Honor, we did send everyone yesterday because we thought some of these witnesses were shorter and we might get to go through more, so we added some. So I
Okay.
sent that to all parties yesterday, I think a little bit after 6.
Okay, it's 9:13. Let's go. All right, bring in our jury.